What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're going to love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Victory Monday edition of Underground Sports Philadelphia. It is episode number 485. Coming in on that big 500 quicker than we know. And it's another Victory Monday, like I said, as the Eagles are now 10-1. Only team with double-digit wins in the NFL as of this recording. And I'm excited. And joining me back underground, who's like we said the last time he was here, it's kind of like a recurring guest character on this show, and it works for football season because he knows his football. The one and only host with the most, coming to me from the Pitts Cave while I'm here in the underground studios, Mr. Patty Pitts.
Champ is here, everybody. Thank you for having me back in the underground once again. The champ has finally made his return. But I wish I had. I'm not as in high spirits as you are, because your football team won this weekend, and
I was rooting for your football team.
It came down to the wire, and I'm not happy with the refs, but the Eagles won, and that's all that matters right now.
Yeah,
I'll talk about the Patriots tonight at 7. So
yeah, go check that out. Go support Patty Pitts at Pat_Pitts. We got a lot to talk about with the Eagles. The boy, the man, the myth, the legend, Isaiah Pacheco continues to evolve into an NFL rock star, and we're gonna talk some XFL with Pat Pitts because obviously you guys know we've got allegiances in the XFL now that the OG underground athlete Jamil Demby is in the XFL, but Pat Pitts hasn't paid too much attention to who got drafted a couple weeks ago. But there's a lot of notable names. We're going to go through some of that, and we're going to have the very first inaugural Pat Pitts Power Rankings Top 10 edition. It's going to be top 10 because nobody cares about 11 through 32 in the NFL. It's going to be top 10, nice and easy.
It's too many. Let's
keep
it simple.
It's gonna be a fun time. So make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI, Twitch.tv/UndergroundSportsPHI. You can follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts. You can follow me on Twitter at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever the hell you get your podcasts. We are there. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It really helps go a long way. I hope you guys all listened over this Thanksgiving holiday and pulled your phones out at the dinner table, told everybody to do it and to subscribe because it means a lot. And make sure you guys subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel where you get full video episodes of all of our podcasts on the network. Pat Pitts has a new project coming out in the new year that will be on our YouTube channel probably twice a week, as well as in short form that you won't want to miss. So nice little tease there. That's breaking news right there.
That is kind of breaking news.
That's breaking news without telling you the news.
Exactly. We're launching something at the beginning of the year. It's a lot. I'm really excited for it. I'm just going to say that. I'm really
So stay tuned for that and subscribe to the YouTube channel because we're on that road to 1K. We need to hit 1,000 subscribers. Need it to happen. I think by the end of the year, I still believe, even though the end of November came up quickly on us, I think we can hit 400 subscribers on the YouTube channel before the end of the year. We're currently at 314. So tell 86 of your best friends to go subscribe, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. Smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below on everything Pitts and I talk about on this episode, and let's get into it. But big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen: Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. But Pat Pitts, like we mentioned at the top, the Birds are flying high, 10-1. They take down the Packers 40-33. One Jake Elliott extra point make away from a nice little Super Bowl repeat score of Super Bowl 52, but we fall an extra point shy. You know I got to talk about the bowl.
I know.
Talk about it anytime I can.
I understand. Just a ricochet shot. Down.
a lot to be happy about with this game. I think Jalen Hurts really, again, on top of last week, beating the Colts in the fashion that they did, him carrying the team on his back. And then in this game, breaking all types of franchise and NFL records across the board, rushing for 157 yards on the ground, passing for 153 yards through the air. He's the first quarterback in NFL history. Let me say that again. The first quarterback in NFL history to do for 125 in the air and 125 on the ground in a single half. And then does it 150 and 150 in the game. I think he ranks fifth. I think it's the fifth or the fourth most rushing yards by a quarterback in a single game in NFL history. What more do you want him to do? We talked about this the last time you were on. Matt and I have talked about it. Yes, Patrick Mahomes is out there and is having a superb season. But, what more do these people out there that continue to doubt and create these stupid narratives about Jalen Hurts need for him to do to prove that this guy is an exceptional NFL quarterback? He should be the front runner for the MVP, in my opinion, and just continues to dominate week in and week out through the air with his legs, and he's just a full-blown leader. You can tell this team rides with Jalen Hurts, and there's no doubt in my mind that, especially if the Eagles finish this season with the best record in the NFL, which they're on pace to do, he should be the MVP.
Yeah, I agree with that just because of the consistency. It's just every week, Jalen Hurts is the one that's going out there. And to be honest, there's not a lot of QBs right now who are playing at that consistent level like Jalen Hurts is. And the thing is, he didn't even, he's obviously can throw the ball, whatnot, but the fact that he went out there and attacked the Packers' biggest weakness, easiest weakness by far, in just running it down their throats and then handing it off to Sanders, Gainwell, even Boston Scott got in there as well. I don't know. There's something about this Eagles team, man, that I just love watching. I'll watch Jalen Hurts run the football the whole game, and then it doesn't matter if he's throwing to A.J. Brown for my fantasy liking, but Devonta Smith, Quez Watkins, who I used to shit on constantly, but now is becoming a pretty viable role, a viable player in that offense. It's they're a fun team to watch. It's nice, and the defense ain't too bad either.
Defense has been spectacular. Hopefully, C.J. Gardner-Johnson is okay after the injury. It looked like a rib injury is what they said, so hopefully he's okay there. But you brought up the three wide receivers, and I just feel obligated that I have to play this, Pitts, because it's appointment playing. We tweet that out anytime Swole Batman, Fast Batman, or Skinny Batman scores a touchdown.
That's their own multiverse of madness right there. Just no way to link with them. I can make as many puns. But just point is that
they're so good. And like you said, Quez Watkins is so I know I wanted to rip my hair out when he fumbled that ball against Washington, but he's been so valuable this year in just opening up the offense and allowing A.J. Brown to do what he does. Not to be confused with A.J. Green, he do what you do. And then Devonta Smith, I think, is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL.
By far.
Which is so difficult to do when you're a top 10 pick and you won the Heisman as a wide receiver. But to the same likening that Jalen Hurts is very underrated and very scrutinized, I feel like Devonta Smith continues to just be looked over as an elite wide receiver.
Well, it's because he was drafted as the one, and then once A.J. Brown came in, everyone's like, oh, well, A.J. Brown's now the one.
And even going in as the one, they were like, oh, he's too small, he's too skinny, he doesn't have muscle. Yeah. He's proving everybody wrong week in and week out that, he's one of the best, possession receivers and, one of the more skilled route runners we've seen come out of the draft, over the last, 4 or 5 years.
He burns corners, left and right. He's always open.
So is A.J. Brown. 1K, always open. Shout out.
So sometimes Quez Watkins, too.
It's unreal.
Who else missing in that wide receiver core? There's one other name I'm missing.
Well, Dallas Goedert's injured right now. And
I knew
it was
that.
kind of obvious last night in some spots that like this Eagles team misses him over the middle. So hopefully Dallas will be back, soon. Don't know exactly how long the injury is going to keep him out. Thanks, refs. But then, Miles Sanders catching the ball last night. Kenneth Gainwell can catch the ball. Boston Scott. Like, it was nice to see Boston Scott mixed in last night, too, because I feel like it changed the pace for all of the running backs. And I thought it was very funny. The media asked Miles Sanders last night, who broke a personal, like, career rushing record. Like, that's the most yards he's ever rushed for in a game. 143 yards on the ground for Miles Sanders. 21 carries, averaging 6.8 yards a carry, 2 touchdowns.
That's ridiculous.
First duo, Pitts. I don't know if you saw this on the broadcast or not.
I did.
First duo to run for quarterback running back duo to rush for 100 and I think it was 125 yards.
100, yeah. Since Kaepernick and
Frank Gore. Like, crazy. It might have been 140, actually.
I think it was that AFC. It was the NFC Championship game at Lambeau.
Yeah.
And they did it.
First to do it since Cap and Gore, which is crazy. And Miles Sanders had 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
Never thought I'd see the day of a multi-touchdown Miles Sanders
I don't think we were saying
situation.
that at all at the beginning of this year.
No.
I don't think we had any high hopes for him.
No. A lot of people were questioning like if he would even like make it through the year as the starter. And he has had a career year. He's looked fantastic behind the best offensive line in football. Jason Kelce is just a beast and a behemoth. Lane Johnson has been unbelievable.
That's what I was going to say. Is Lane Johnson put on a hell of
I feel like you've come around on Lane Johnson a lot too.
I have to. I don't really hold grudges anymore unless it's a good reason to. And Lane Johnson just saying that the Patriots don't have fun. I mean, cool. Like that's everyone saying it. So, and I mean, he's good. So like, if he was terrible, then yes, I would still. But like Lane Johnson is one of the best offensive linemen in the league.
He's
throwing it right
he's
now.
arguably like he's gonna be a Hall of Famer. I think it's fair to like. They said it on the broadcast last night, and I knew it, and I was like, fuck, why are you saying this? You're jinxing it. He has not given up a sack in 2 years.
Okay, well, I have a vendetta against announcers jinxing.
Especially fucking Chris Collinsworth.
Jim Nance is on my hot seat right now. Sidebar second, just because
Fair, you are on CBS.
Yeah, you definitely were watching this on Thanksgiving with your loved ones. When Jim Nance says, oh, screw an announcer's jinx, literally said something along those lines and goes, Bagley hasn't missed all season, extra points or field goals. What's the next thing he does? Shankopotamus, right?
Shankopotamus.
My cousin, I just looked at him and just walked out of the room. I was furious. Didn't even start yet. I was like just sitting at the table waiting. Like, I'm not doing this. I'm still mad at Jim Nance for that.
Man,
take
tough.
your announcer's jinx. And they lost by 3, by the way. Just saying.
Yeah, that's tough.
Just
that's
saying.
Tough.
They lost. But they covered.
Good teams win. Great teams cover.
Damn right.
But yeah, Lane Johnson hasn't given up a sack in 2 years. You have Jordan Mailata, who I was talking to Carmen Bryant, who is my boss at Buena Regional High School and my co-host on she is the host. I just co-host and produce it, of Curtain Talk, our Buena Regional High School podcast that's produced through Underground Studios. And I played Jordan Mailata singing for her. She was blown away.
Like wonderful.
He is, dude. Did you? I mean, I'm sure you. The Eagles' offensive line released a Christmas album.
Oh, I'm going. Wait, is it released? I knew it was coming.
So
is it released yet?
The first single released on Black Friday.
Okay.
And it is incredible.
Is it on Apple Music?
Yes.
Okay, I'll go check.
It is Jordan Mailata, Jason Kelce, Lane Johnson, and I'm gonna get torched for this. Mariah Carey, who? This is the new Christmas song of the season.
Well, I mean, Mariah Carey can't sing anymore. Let's be real here. I mean,
but you know how it's like, oh, it's Thanksgiving, then boom, it's Mariah Carey time. Nah, it's the Eagles O-line time, bro.
Not in Philly, right?
Dude, in the album cover, they made Lane Johnson, Mailata, and Kelce Peanuts characters.
Oh, it's in the details.
And then the tree topper is the dog mask. It's incredible.
Wow. I mean, that's so good. I need that on a t-shirt.
Speaking of t-shirts, that's what we call a segue. We're recording this on Cyber Monday, but this goes no matter what. Our amazing merch partners are one of the sponsors of this show. PHI Apparel Company, Underground Sports, is brought to you by them with their unique designs, for the great fans of Philadelphia and for the great fans of Underground Sports. That's right. Our official merch is all through PHI Apparel Company. There's no doubt you guys are going to stand out in the crowd, whether you're going to a game, going to a watch party, heading over to, the local bar, whatever it may be. You got to rock your PHI Apparel Company merch. You got Underground Sports Philadelphia merch for all of our podcasts now. Go check it out. Cyber Monday. Use our code UNDERGROUND when you shop at phiapparel.co for 10% off. That's promo code UNDERGROUND. 10% off phiapparel.co. You get the Underground Sports OG logo that's always behind me here. You get the Outside the Box logo, Top Bins, Streamer Season, the Get in the Hole Love Park logo, which I think is one of our best logos across the board. And this is the first time that Streamer Season, Get in the Hole, and Top Bins have had merch ever. This is the first edition merch for them. So go check it out. They've also got great Eagles merch. They've got great Phillies, Flyers, Sixers, Union, some great stuff. I know I sent Pitts one. There's a spoof on a subscription website that everybody,
an app that you might download.
Only PHANS.
There it is.
That shirt will be getting copped ASAP. They're also going to be part of our live tailgate series that we're going to be doing during Philly season. First one, April 8th, 2023. So shout out to PHI Apparel Company for being our merch partners. But you brought up A.J. Brown, Pitts, and the fumble last night drove me crazy again because it's been a occurring thing now or I should say recurring thing that A.J. Brown's been fumbling lately. But then after the game, come to find out, A.J. Brown was sick all week, lost 7 pounds from throwing up, and burst a blood vessel in his eye from throwing up so hard. There's a picture of him that I'll put in post from the locker room when he's getting interviewed. His eye was like the color of Elmo. It was that red. And I was like, how did he see anything while he was playing?
So with experience in this, actually, because of course I have experience in popping blood vessels in my eye, I threw up too hard in high school. I still low-key do. And one time I was sick for a week in high school doing the same thing. Popped a blood vessel in my eye and had a track meet the next day. And
he's a runner. He's a track star.
More of a throwing. I don't run. You think I ran? So it was like red, like in the bottom here. And then there was that weird yellowish, like, how you get a bruise and that weird yellow color. That was in there too. And it's at the bottom of my eye. It's not a vision thing, really. Like
it's a Wanda thing.
It's kind of. Yes, exactly. And yeah. Damn it.
The ones that get it. The ones that don't.
But it's just weird. Like, it is a weird look. And the fact that he lost 7 pounds too, like, dude, that's tough to come back and do that. Like, you're sick. I don't know. Like, just speaking from experience, and you have to play an NFL game. I barely competed in a stupid high school track meet. And this man had to go out there. So, like, props to him for doing that. And when you told me that, I was like, all right, the fumble isn't that big of a deal because he did score, and he made a lot of us happy.
Dude, that picture of him, too, with the toe tap.
Beautiful.
Chef's kiss,
Unreal.
Man. What a great catch. But, yeah, I mean, this game overall, solid. I think preseason, when Matt and I did our predictions, like, the Packers was, like, the number one, like, concern going into the season because it's always Aaron Rodgers. Like, you can't ever like count him out preseason. But I'm looking here at our preseason predictions. Matt had the Eagles going through November 2-1, 3-1, 2-2. So that's 2, 5, 7, and 4. And then he had them overall at 11 and 6.
Not
They're going to
bad.
far surpass that, hopefully. But funny enough, I had them going 3-0 in September, 3-1 in October, 3-1 in November, 2-2 in December, 1-1 in January, which has them. For my prediction, I felt if I would have said 4-0 in November or 4-0 in October, I would have had the Eagles' record correct right now.
That's
I had them
tough.
at 9-2 through November. They're 10-1.
Yeah, I remember us talking about this because that's when I placed my future on the Eagles, and I have the date for that, May 12th or something, that I placed a bet. And we were talking about this team that they could turn some heads this year, and they've done a lot more than just that. After last night defeating the Packers, here's my thing I want to go off of because I've been calling the Packers' demise for like 2 years now.
You
I've been saying
have.
Aaron Rodgers is done, and it's not because of him personally. It's the whole organization. It's just on that decline. I mean, for Jordan Love to go in that game and kind of give them a chance at the end, where you were like, "Oh,
Yeah, that was concerning. I was like, why are we making Jordan Love look good?
that's what I'm saying. Is that you're like, is he really going to do this?" And Rodgers doesn't go back in, and then he addresses the media, and he's like, "Yeah, well, if they tell me I'm good, then I'll play." It's like, should you though? Like I'm really over how they coddled and were begging Rodgers to come back when they just were kind of kicking him out the door to begin with. And you have Jordan Love, and everything's kind of in place for, I'll say, a nice rebuild, a steady rebuild, would say. And Rodgers is just the the thorn in that side. Dude, I am so done with the Packers and the fact that they hopefully and probably will finish with a worse record than the Detroit Lions is such a great sort of FU to Rodgers and the entire Packers organization that you probably should have made a couple different decisions in the past because, I'm so over it. I'm so nice. And especially when they lose against the run. When the Eagles put up 363?
I believe, 363.
363 rushing yards against them. That's just like your run defense cannot stop a nosebleed, for God's sake.
Run, Eagles, run.
And that's all they did. Jalen Hurts just was whatever he wanted, doing whatever he wanted with them. Miles Sanders, for God's sake. And then, Packers suck. I'm just saying. I could go on and on, but Packers suck. Finally happening. And Rodgers I think Rodgers should sit the rest of the year because they're out of the playoffs.
Pretty much.
What's the point?
Pretty much.
DJ's gonna love that rant.
Well, to be fair, DJ has been saying that the Packers were not going to be good this entire year since the preseason. So,
okay, at least I have someone on my side there. Here we go.
But yeah, I mean, it's very obvious that there's two teams that are up here in the NFL right now. It's the Eagles, it's the Chiefs, doing their thing. Because the Bills have kind of taken a little bit of a tumble, with a couple losses there. I still think the Cowboys are frauds. It's, who have they really, sure, they dominated the Vikings, but I also think the Vikings are frauds.
Yeah.
I think the Vikings are one of the most fraudulent, 9-2 teams of all time. The Giants are not very good.
Do you think the Giants are better than the Vikings?
Ooh, good question. I think they're very similar.
Yeah,
They're eerily similar. The Vikings have a better defense than the Giants, I think.
That I will absolutely agree with. Yeah, it's just.
But the offenses are very similar.
Very similar. The Giants are way better coached, and that's why they are the record they are. Whereas the Vikings, their record is because of Justin Jefferson and their upgraded.
Because Dalvin Cook has been terrible this year.
Dalvin Cook has really had a down year.
He's been
They're figuring him out. They're really figuring. I wanted to ask you this. Have you seen a lot of equaling out parity this year where the stars that would be dominating elite guys are just middle of the pack. Like they're not bad by any
Mm-hmm.
means, but they're just like vanilla.
Yeah, 100%.
I feel like the league is really evening out where like games you don't see overs as much. I mean, the fact that Seahawks Raiders was a shootout, I loved it, but like Geno Smith and Derek Carr in a shootout right now, like it's just it's a very weird year.
Mm-hmm. And I think, it's just so funny that, like, all these teams have great records, and, like, sure, Bill Parcells, you are what your record says you are. But, like, the Vikings are frauds to me. Like, they do not scare me, especially when the playoffs roll around and everything's in prime time. And then the Cowboys don't scare me. Like, sure, Micah Parsons is good, but there's ways to beat him. You go right at them, you beat their defense. Dak has been awful. Like, he has not been good this year. He has not been like a typical top 7 quarterback Dak year. He's been very mediocre.
Is he hurt?
He was. Like, he missed like 5 games with that thumb injury because Cooper Rush played.
That's true.
And Cooper Rush
led them.
Cooper Rush was like arguably better.
Coaching. Kellen Moore. I mean, that
He stinks.
No, I think Kellen Moore is more.
He's very overrated.
I think that's the Eagle in you. I think
I've thought that for a while. Like,
really,
he's a very overrated offensive coordinator.
Really, because I think he's done a great job, especially because Dak is not a shining star by any means out of the league.
I also can't believe anybody on the Cowboys coaching staff is actually calling plays because Jerry Jones is there.
That's very. You think that they have a signal up in the
Jerry's got a walkie-talkie. He's like, "All right, fellas,
do a run here," and then it's Dak just calls the run.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay.
Well, we have breaking college football news. Not that we ever talk about college football, but it's been on the Twitter timeline. So it does not look like Lane Kiffin is going to Auburn.
Really?
Yeah. Breaking news. Hugh Freeze has agreed to a deal to become Auburn's next head football coach.
Who?
Hugh Freeze.
That is an alias for a superhero. What?
He was the head coach at Ole Miss from 2012 to 2017, and he was most recently the head coach of Liberty.
From Liberty to Auburn? That's a jump.
What a slap in the face to Cadillac Williams. He's the interim right now.
Is he really?
Yeah.
Oh, that is a slap in the face. Why don't I just rival Cadillac Williams?
That's what I'm saying. Put me in the caddy, baby.
Matt Rule to Nebraska.
Crazy.
I think that's weird.
Crazy.
I don't know. I don't like that signing. Can't tell you why, but just bad feelings. Get out.
We're going to do a brand new segment while Pitts is on, and we're going to have this on social and everything moving forward, but it is the Pat Pitts Power Rankings, brought to you by the homies over at Trophy Smack. No better way to upgrade your fantasy smack talk than with our friends at Trophy Smack. They've got belts, they've got rings, they've got trophies, and they've got new wall art. That's right, they've got metal wall art to upgrade your fantasy smack talk to a whole new degree. And right now, while you guys are listening to this, hopefully it'll be out before Cyber Monday is over. You can get 15% off their new Wall Smack metal wall plaques with code FUNDAY15. That's FUNDAY 15 to get 15% off at trophysmack.com/underground. That's trophysmack.com/underground for 15% off the new Wall Smack metal wall plaques with code FUNDAY15. So what we're going to do here is, everybody thinks power rankings are a joke, and it's very obvious that they are. So we're going to have some fun with power rankings. Pitts is going to give us his top 10 NFL teams right now in his power rankings. Obviously, Monday night isn't happening, but Pitts, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that the Pittsburgh Steelers and Indianapolis Colts are not in your top 10.
I'm going to break the news now. They're not. They are not going to make the top 10 this week, so I think we can go ahead with this.
So the top 10 here, there's going to be some legitimacy to it, and then there's going to be some top 10ing in the eyes of Pat Pitts and how he's viewing the NFL right now. So Pitts, let's start from the bottom and work our way up. The inaugural Pat Pitts Power Rankings, brought to you by Trophy Smack. Your number 10 for the week of, going
11.
into week 13.
Are we really going to 13? Wow, I'm behind. So I'm gonna go 10 as my team. I think the Pats. Okay, they're still in the hunt for a playoff. They're a better team than the Jets, and the Jets dominated last week or against the who they play. Why am I blanking? Bears.
The Bears.
And the Bears stink. So one screwy touchdown call is going to be the black mark on what should have been the Mac Jones coming out game. That was easily his best game of the year, hands down. And don't give up on this Patriots team yet. So they got 10. They're my 10.
So the Patriots clock in at number 10. Number 9.
Number 9. I'll go to the NFC. We'll switch it up here. Where is it? I'm not going to lie. You know what I'm really a fan of this year? Seahawks. And
I don't hate that.
I was not a fan of them going into this year. I'm pretty sure if you go into the archives of the Loaded Box Pod, I've been on record saying they're going to be terrible. But just like everything else in the world, it loves to prove me wrong. So Geno Smith, they didn't win against the Raiders. They should have, though. Josh Jacobs kind of tore that one down himself. But the Seahawks, I think could win the division in a sneaky way because they have a better offense overall than the 49ers. The 49ers defense is just carrying them. Seahawks dark horse to win that division. They'll be at 9.
I don't hate that.
Who we got for 8? I'm going to go 8. I'm going to go back to the AFC. I'm going to go Jaguars.
The Jaguars.
What a win against the Ravens, huh? Like, what a way. Dougie P with the biggest balls.
Brought the big balls down to Jacksonville.
The fact he went for 2, gets it, and then they just tease a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal, and he just misses it by inches. Kind of loved it. I kind of loved the Ravens losing. Hate seeing Lamar lose, but when he's in the Motor City next year with the Lions, it's not going to be. We're not going to have to worry about that.
Lamar's tweet.
What? Yeah. What it? Something about the kid with the
dicks.
No, I did not see his tweet about eating dicks.
He came at somebody good. I'll pull it up.
Yeah. Pull it up because I don't remember his verbatim, but yes.
So Lamar Jackson last night responded in a tweet to somebody. And said, I want to read this verbatim because it was very funny, and I hope Lamar did not delete it because to tweet and delete would be
that's
a bummer.
You got to own it. You got to own your tweets. You should see my Facebook memories. Those things. 8th graders should not have social media. Going back on Facebook memories and seeing hitting the HTC, hit the cell, like, those are abbreviations we should have just never had.
Well, while I look for this, give us your number 7, Pat.
Number 7. I'm going to put the Commanders at 7.
Ugh.
I know it's going to ruffle some feathers, but we're at the bottom half, the fun side of this power rankings right now. And Taylor Heineke beating the Falcons, I think this was a weird game where they just continue going and keep getting like maybe 1 or 2 more wins. Obviously, they may not make the playoffs, and if they do, won't really do.
Hey, if the playoffs started today, every team in the NFC East would make the playoffs.
And that's ridiculous.
Where were you all last year when you were shitting on the NFC East for being bad? Give that same energy to that garbage NFC South division this year.
or AFC West division?
That too. I have the tweet, by the way.
Okay.
Someone tweeted, when someone is asking for over 250 mil guaranteed, like at Lamar Jackson's Twitter handle, games like this should not come to at Justin Tucker's Twitter handle. Let Lamar walk and spend that money on a well-rounded team. So Lamar responded, and that came from at Castle Will Kill. Lamar Jackson responded and said, "Boy, STFU, y'all be capping too much on this app. MF never smelt a football field, never did shit but eat dick."
Yeah. Never smelt a football field. That's what I remember from that. God, I love Lamar. He's so good. I love when he throws some shade at the fans.
So the Commanders at number 7. Who is your number 6 team?
My number 6 team are the Titans, and this is where we're going to be on the middle of that fence of like, haha, kind of serious, but joke. And then, all right, we're into like legit
Tough showing
now.
for the Titans this week.
It is, but here's the thing. I think they're good, and they have potential to make like maybe a 1-win, maybe 2-win playoff run. But I just don't know with their defense.
Their defense is bad.
It's not good. And the fact that it's Derrick Henry and then Tannehill being game manager with Bob Woods and Treylon Burks.
And he's been worse than a game manager this year.
He's not been good. I mean, the fact that they won games with a 1A game, I think, with Malik Willis, and just like it's Derrick Henry's team. So
they are very Derrick Henry or bust.
It really is, and it's just all the side of how hot is Derrick Henry at the time. So yeah, they're at 6. My 5, I'm gonna go with the Dolphins. The Dolphins are interesting to me.
I think Tua is my number 3 for the MVP right now, behind Hurts and Mahomes.
I think Tua is legit. You know, I got a lot of flack for being a Tua stan for years, but after I saw that video when they flipped his throwing motion so it looked like he was a righty, it's just the lefty oddness that a lefty quarterback can be that accurate in the throwing motion, whatever. He's good. Like he's very accurate in the fact that he has Waddle and Hill on each side. And it looks like the Dolphins actually are trying to use the run game, where they have really been terrible at that in years past. Defense not bad too. That would be the one team that makes me nervous in the AFC East. And then 4, I want to say Bills. I'm gonna go Bills too, just because they're good. But I said at the beginning of the year that they started out so hot. They were starting out so just dominant, and then it's that they showed their cards too early in a way. Now they're starting to get a little bit weaker. Von Miller went out with that injury too.
They can't run the ball.
They can't run the ball, which is the other side of things if you want to be a full, complete championship team. And if James Cook is doing all right, but Devin Singletary is being used more in the passing game than his run game. So it's just not going to work. 3, I'm going to go with the NFC. I'll go Cowboys at 3. I'm going to go Cowboys at 3. Because unlike yourself, I think they are a good team and they could make.
They're fine.
They're fine. They're not gonna. I think go to. I
think they have been absolutely pathetic with the public courting of one Odell Beckham Jr.
Oh, it's terrible. Oh,
it's disgusting.
Awful. But I did like how Jerry Jones said that we have a pretty good wide receiving core. So it's like, all right, maybe they could.
So then, Jerry, why are you putting out stories on your team's official social media account recounting Dak's recruitment of Odell Beckham Jr.?
It's weird. It's weird. My number 2 is the Chiefs, obviously. I don't really need to explain that one. Pat Mahomes, that's it. Travis Kelce, Isaiah Pacheco, boom. And then number 1, the Eagles. Not even close. The Eagles are just, I would say, the most complete team right now. Watching their run game is finally coming together with Miles Sanders. Jalen Hurts is dark horse MVP, top 3 MVP candidate in my eyes. And that defense, too, is, obviously the line, but Darius Slay has been phenomenal this year. And it's
CJ's been great.
CJ's been great as well, leading the league in interceptions.
Dude, your boy Ndamukong Suh is now a bird.
That's so weird.
I love him. I love him already.
See, I never liked him, even when he was on the Lions.
I love him.
He's such a dick.
He's such a family man now. They did they talked to him like for a story for like the thing for the game last night, and he said he had just moved to Florida this month, was like pseudo retired, and then the Eagles called, and he said he wanted to. The only reason he was coming back because he wants another ring, so that way his twin boys don't have to share a ring. Power move.
I like that.
That's inner dad strength right there.
It is, and that's just full arc. That just talk about your character arc development is just
love it. He's been great on Twitter too. Like love me some Ndamukong Suh, and Linval Joseph for that matter.
I like Linval Joseph. I was always
very fun. Love that. That's Chris Long's profile picture too. Is Linval with the oxygen mask and the sunglasses.
I love Chris Long. Oh, that's so.
Here's Pat Pitts' Power Rankings Week 13 edition. It's always top 10, and it's through the eyes of one Patrick Pitts. Eagles, Chiefs, Cowboys, Bills, Dolphins, Titans, Commanders, Jaguars, Seahawks, Patriots. I think I only disagree with I would have the Seahawks ahead of a couple teams. I'd probably have the Seahawks at 6 if I'm just including these teams. Move the Titans back a little bit because Derrick Henry got shut down against the Bengals. I would probably conjure a way to include the Bengals on this list. I feel like they're starting to hit their stride. Because a lot of people are down on them, and then I went and looked too, and a lot of people have looked going into this week and where they are after this week. They have the same record they had last year when they went to the Super Bowl.
Okay, so yeah, it's basically okay.
It's just the Bengals
situation. Okay.
And I think the only other team I would include, I'm like going through the teams in my brain. Oddly enough, I think the Chargers are a top 10 team right now. Found a way to win, which like relatively Justin Herbert and the Chargers don't find a way to do. Beat a bad Cardinals team.
Yeah, that's the Cardinals stink.
They stink. They're bad.
They're bad. They're cursed. I said this yesterday. They're cursed. They have to be.
They stink.
I mean, it's Kyler. That contract. All right,
as Matt said months ago, he's the Ben Simmons of the NFL.
What's the record? I'm gonna look to see. And
they're 4-8.
That is the most accurate sentence I've heard in a while.
They're 4-8.
4-8.
Also, nothing will make me laugh harder than when Budda Baker is giving like the passionate locker room speech on Hard Knocks, where he's like, "I'm tired of fucking losing, man," and then they just go into full blown Our Father like prayer and goes to credits. It's one of the funniest fucking things ever. My man is going in on his teammates, crying, yelling, angry, cursing, and then drops to a knee, starts talking to God.
Call God, baby. Call God.
Man's on speed dial.
Oh, that's dude.
I burst out laughing when I saw that clip.
Kingsbury needs to be fired.
Yeah, he stinks.
He's not good. If anything, it's him, not Kyler. But Kyler is 1B in their issues.
They need like a coach that's gonna like elevate him because Kyler just does not respect Cliff.
They need a Ron Rivera.
Yes and no, because I don't think Ron has it anymore as like a full-blown coach. Like he's got the X's and like yeah. Like Ron's got like the locker room type situation, but I don't think Ron has the full-blown like 2022 Rolodex of X's and O's. Like the Commanders are very predictable, which we've talked about. Like it's run the ball, get like 5 yards, and then throw it to Terry McLaurin. Yeah. That's their game plan.
Terry McLaurin. Yeah.
So yeah, there's the inaugural Pat Pitts Power Rankings. We'll put those out every week and make everybody go crazy on social media.
I would love to see, just because no one knows how my mind works, and I don't even know sometimes. So to see people like witness it in that and be like, why are you having this team there? It's like, because this reason. It's like, what is that? It's like, Let's get some people. Let's get some heads talking.
It gets
heads
the people
rolling.
going. No, it's
Yes.
not, but it's provocative.
Great.
So Pitts, we had mentioned at the top of the show that we have some XFL allegiances now due to the boy, the underground athlete himself, Jamil Demby, now in the XFL. But you haven't paid too much attention to when the draft went down to see the players and everything. And I was just scrolling through, I want to say last week before we recorded OTB with myself and DJ. Go check that out. There are some very notable names in this rendition of the XFL run by Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson.
Yeah, my hero. Yes.
I feel like we're gonna tune into the XFL a bit, especially with your new project.
Absolutely. I'll be tuned in. Before we start, though, I wanted this little funny story about XFL. When we were getting into training cards in the whole card pack, I saw at Target XFL trading cards.
No way.
So I bought a pack and opened it. And for a whole year, I kept a card of Jerry Glanville in my wallet at all times.
Shout out Jerry Glanville.
I love Jerry Glanville. He's such a I would see the old NFL films mic'd up of him, and it's just like I can't get enough of him. And I just was like, I need to carry this in my wallet at all times.
That's unreal. Our XFL
is he still in it?
I'm not sure. We'll find out.
We'll find out. Let's
Our XFL conversation is brought to you by the official beer of Underground Sports Philadelphia, Kenwood Beer. It's Philadelphia's #1 light lager. Go to kenwoodbeer.com. Use that all new and improved Kenny tracker to see who's got Kenwood beer on tap in the Philadelphia area. And right now, Cyber Monday, if you buy a hoodie on Kenwood's website, you get a free Kenny carrier. It's not a bag. It's a Kenny carrier. You get it for free. Free shipping. kenwoodbeer.com. You got to be 21 or older to do so. And, of course, please drink responsibly. Pitts, I'm going to start with the offensive skill position players because that's what everybody loves. The first name here that is incredible, and I'm so excited that he's playing, the 5th pick of the offensive skills portion of the draft, going to the Vegas Vipers, who we are sort of kind of rooting for. Martavis Bryant is back.
No way.
Martavis Bryant is back.
Weapon. That
certified weapon.
A lightning bolt on the field.
So excited. The next one, Houston Roughnecks with the 8th pick of the offensive skill players from Central Florida, former NFL running back Adrian Killins.
Don't remember him.
I remember he was like bounced around a bit. I forget what teams he played for, but I remember the name. Moving here, let's see. And there's some great names in this league, by the way. Great names.
You have to if you're the XFL.
Seeing here. Don't remember anybody from there. There's a guy, Lawan Winningham.
That's a great name.
Great name.
Lawan Winningham. That's interesting. What position is he?
Wide receiver, I think.
All right.
Looking at the next page here.
Who we got?
So here's one that Deej and I talked about. From Alabama A&M, playing for the Orlando Guardians, Octavius Miles, but not how you think it's spelled. Not how you think it's spelled.
Dr. Octavius.
Octavius. Octavius. Octavius. Electric. Electric.
It's Octavius. I kind of like that.
Absolutely incredible. DC Defenders from Western Kentucky, Lucky Jackson.
Lucky Jackson. That's a hell of a name.
Then moving to the defensive backs, we've got from Jackson State, CJ Holmes.
Okay. I do remember that
familiar.
name.
You'll remember this one. From Pittsburgh State, Kansas, the Arlington Renegades, Devontae Bosby.
Okay, yeah.
Former
I kind of remember that. He's a freak, yeah.
Looking here.
I can't wait for this league.
This is
wait
like
for
right
this
up your
league.
alley.
This is and I mean, The Rock is heading it, of all people, and then it's just. I think it's going to be an upgraded version of like AAF.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's going to be very similar to original XFL from 2020 and just like enhanced with more money.
You know what they need to bring back? I know they can't do it because big concussions really on their ass, but
The
when
original
they would
XFL kickoff.
the XFL kickoff, and they would just run at each other.
He
I
hate
need
me.
it. What if? Hear me out. What if they did it with like hamster balls, or like they found a way to make like
Wipe out.
just like with protective headgear or something, where we can just have two guys just run at each other full speed playing kill the man with the ball.
That's unreal.
That would be awesome.
The Arlington Renegades, also from Florida, Will Hill, NFL.
Oh yeah. Will Hill.
Then the Vegas Vipers defensive back. This is an all-time DB name from Cal State Sacramento. My man's name is Mr. Harriel. Mister is his first name. I want to shake his hand. Mr. Harriel. What a name.
That is a hell. And if like D-back too, shut down. You got shut
Oh,
down
yeah.
by the mister. Okay.
We've got, for the Seattle Sea Dragons from Louisville, Quinterio Cole. Quynntterrio. Quinterio Cole. What a name. All-name team Hall.
These names are just absolutely electric.
The DC defender, Santos Ramirez.
Yep.
Great name.
That's a hell of a name.
It looks like there's a lot of former like Miami Dolphins from these headshots in this league as well.
Mm-hmm.
Vegas Vipers drafted Nick Pickett from Oregon. I remember him.
Okay.
Cameron Lewis for the Arlington Renegades from Louisiana State. And then the Orlando Guardians from Tennessee, Shaquille Wiggins. Great name.
Oh, just a great name. Yeah. I would agree with that.
There's definitely somebody else I remember. From the NFL that got drafted. The Arlington Renegades from Valdosta State, Donatello Brown.
That's a name you don't hear anymore.
Great name. Great
don't
name.
Hear that name. Donatello. Donnie.
Great name. Then we go to the defensive front seven. Here's a name you know. Going to the Vegas Vipers. The Vegas Vipers team got some talent, brother.
Loaded.
Vic Beasley is in the XFL.
Yeah, I remember Vic Beasley.
Vic Beasley.
That's incredible.
Elijah Ponder. Who else do we have here?
I wonder how many like people from the old XFL are in this version. Because this is more like developmental for the NFL, right? That's what they were saying it's going to be, which I like that. They finally do have some like minor league type league for that.
Bruce Hector, former Eagle, going to the Arlington Renegades, defensive lineman.
Okay.
Here's a great name from Toledo, Seattle Sea Dragons, Tuzar Skipper.
Tuzar?
Tuzar. Linebacker. Great linebacker name. I feel like you remember this guy just because of his name, and I feel bad because this guy probably got bullied so much. Went to the Naval Academy, linebacker, Houston Roughnecks. Diego, I'm pretty sure it's pronounced Fagot, but it's Fagot.
Yep, that dude got bullied.
Him.
Yep, that dude got bullied.
LaRon Stokes is in this league from Oklahoma for the Vegas Vipers.
Vegas Vipers have a lot
loaded team. Jawan Johnson for the Vegas Vipers.
I remember Jawan Johnson. Okay.
And let's move to the offensive line. We've got anybody here. Let's see.
Any big name or not big name?
Great name here from Texas Tech, DC Defenders, TJ Storment.
Stormont is a good name.
Great
That's
offensive line name.
very powerful name.
DeMarcus Hayes. I remember him when he played at Georgia. He's playing for
Okay.
DC. Let's see here. Steven Gonzalez from Penn State. He got drafted by St. Louis. He's also friends with the homie Jamil Demby.
Oh, okay.
Here's another great name for the Vegas Vipers. South Florida offensive lineman Quintarius Eatmon. Quinterrius. Quintarius Eatmon. As an O lineman, that's a great last name.
He's eating all those mon.
Frank Ball, great offensive line. Frank Ball, great name.
Man means business out there.
Let's see.
How long was this draft? When was this draft? I totally forget.
I want to say like 2 weeks ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, I was. How did I miss this?
It's very interesting that like teams also had the option to like pass.
You could pass in this draft?
Yeah. Like as the draft went on, like you could pass.
Like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah. Very interesting.
And
obviously the boy, Jamil Demby, 4th round, pick 29, going to the Vegas Vipers as well. And then you're going to love this. The specialists. I don't know if you're ready for this, Pitts. There is a notable specialist in this league in terms of kicking, punting. I wish he was on the Vegas Vipers because it would make it that much better. Going to the Arlington Renegades from Fort Valley State, former Pro Bowl punter Marquette King.
No way! Let's go!
So stoked.
Now Maddie's on a Vegas.
So stoked he's in the league, though.
I am hyped he's in the league. He was electric.
He's so good. And he can still boot it.
Yeah.
Taylor Rossolino, also in the league. I remember him when he was coming out in the draft. And then Brad Wing, also in this league, punter for the San Antonio Brahmas. I remember him.
Where do I know that name?
He punted for... He punted for the Giants and the Steelers.
Oh, I remember the Steelers. Okay.
And he was also signed by the Eagles as an undrafted free agent in 2013. He also punted for LSU. I also wanted him to be like the Eagles punter forever because you're playing for the Eagles and your last name is Wing. Come on.
Yeah, that's just match made in heaven.
And then Houston drafted Race Porter.
Race?
His first name is Race. R-A-C-E. Great name.
Okay, like what? Like where
Great
are we
name.
getting? Who looks at a kid and goes race?
Race Porter.
That's what I just want to know. Like who looks at a kid and just says race?
It's an unreal name. Oh, also Abram Smith in this league as well.
Abram Smith sounds regal. It sounds very elegant. I don't
Great
know why.
name. Orlando Guardians wide receiver from Miami, Charleston Rambo.
Oh, that's a hilarious.
It's a great name. Great name.
That is a name you would see.
I'm like low key excited for the XFL.
Oh, me too. Yeah, I feel like they're finally because that was the thing. It had legs before all the shit in the world happened, and it was getting there because that was I forget what week it was, but wasn't the beer snake at the XFL event?
Yeah,
and
like
that's when it was really hitting its height of popularity. In the
and like all the logos are sick.
Really,
like the DC Defenders logo is pretty much the same. Houston Roughnecks logo is the same. Battlehawks logo is the same. Guardians is pretty much the same, except they have green in the logo now instead of it being black and red. Mm-hmm. Vipers is sweet. Brahma's logo is sweet. Sea Dragons logo is sick.
I love how everyone was like, "What the hell is a Brahma?" And I'm like, "Oh, you guys are so naive." That's what is on the Rock's right arm bicep tattoo. It's a Brahma bull, and he went by the Brahma bull in his time in WWE. So, well, XFL history fact for everyone out there.
Look at that. Yeah, I'm excited for the XFL.
Should be good. Should be good.
Might be going to Vegas soon.
That would be really good if you
Going
get
to Vegas
out of
soon.
it.
I mean, it makes sense. Vegas, film more of the documentary.
Absolutely.
Shout
Why
out
not
to the
go
XFL. It starts the week after the Super Bowl.
See, I like that. Don't give football fans the time to rest. That's what they don't want, because they don't want that lull period. Then they'll get into something else. If you go right after the Super Bowl and it's a different style of football, you're going to be good.
It's going to be a wild time. But looking forward to it. Shout out to Jamil Demby. Shout out to Isaiah Pacheco. Superstar in the making. Hell of a touchdown dance. We'll talk more about that on the Dan Russo Show, recapping everything from Vineland football this year later this week. Make sure you tune into that. But Pitts, anything to plug?
After this, I'm going to go live on the Nonsense Sports Network Twitch, getting that going again at 7:00. I will be on the Gillette Gazette podcast live. We're doing it live for the first time through my Twitter at @Pat_Pitts, where we're going to break down the entire Patriots-Vikings game. And then, we got that thing that you broke news on earlier in the works, and I'm meeting up
The
with...
thing without telling them what the thing is.
Yeah, I'm meeting up with, OC about it, and it's good. We're getting that going. And then, obviously, we got Monday Night Raw tonight. So, if you also are a wrestling fan, Pat_Pitts, my tweets. I did go to War Games, and let me tell you, War Games Survivor Series is in my top 3 favorite pay-per-views I've ever attended. It was so good, from the women's match to kick things off, and then the main event, the whole storyline with the bloodline. I mean, there's not a better time in life than to get into wrestling than right now. Just saying. And I'm so happy to be
Big
back.
things coming in 2024.
I'm just saying.
2024 is going to be wild.
Things in the works.
So make sure you guys are following us on the socials at Underground PHI, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.com/UndergroundSportsPHI. Follow Pitts on Twitter at Pat_Pitts. Follow me at KBIZZL311. Subscribe to the podcast feed, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Leave a 5-star rating and review. It helps the show continue to grow and take it to where this thing becomes our full-time careers, which is what we all want. And then, of course, subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel, youtube.com/@UndergroundSportsPhiladelphia. We're on that road to 1K. We're at 314 subscribers right now. Need to hit 1K like I need oxygen. So go subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash that like button, ring the bell icon, comment down below your thoughts on everything Pitts and I talked about on this episode, anything you want us to talk about in the future with myself and Matt, or whenever Pitts is back. Let us know how you feel about Pat Pitts' inaugural power rankings.
Ooh, and I want to hear the good, the bad, the ugly.
Let us know in the comment section below. And big thank you to our sponsors who make this show happen. Main Auto LLC, Security 21 Security Systems, Paul J. Gillespie Incorporated, and the Dental Wellness Center of Vineland. But this has been episode number 485 of Underground Sports Philadelphia. For Pitts, I'm KB. Next time we talk to you, it will still be November. But we're closing in on the end of the year. December's almost here. Winter is coming. But until then, we're getting the heck out of here. We are signing off. Peace.